Hello and welcome to the first of two Breeders' Cup editions of the Pink Sheet Insider. I'm your host Andrew Champagne alongside Saratogian columnist Mike Veach. We've mentioned it a lot. From time to time we will break out some special editions of the Pink Sheet Insider. This weekend at Santa Anita, certainly a special occasion, the Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championships.
I think the Great Breeders' Cup is deserving of a special reel, indeed.
Well, we're actually going to give it two special reels because
Okay.
the Breeders' Cup is a two-day event. The first is Friday, the second is Saturday. On Friday, the headliner is the Breeders' Cup Ladies Classic, arguably the best one that's ever been run.
I can't dispute that at all, Andrew. You know, there are three champions in this race, and I'm sure there have been some other horse races with three reigning champions. I just can't think of one off the top of my head. Very special affair, and believe me, the non-champions here are very serious fillies.
This is a fantastic field of 8 here. We're going to start off with the two 3-year-olds contending for champion 3-year-old filly honors. They're the number 2 horse, My Miss Aurelia, and the number 4 horse, Questing.
Very, very interesting. The first he mentioned is Unbeaten. She was away for a long time, came back with a so-so in the Mandy's Gold at Saratoga, and then, boom, defeats Questing. And I think this is an important part of the Cup this year, Andrew. In many of the things we're going to talk about, she got significant weight. She doesn't have that much of an advantage today. The other Questing, she was just roared at Saratoga. In my mind was that a one-time thing, loving Saratoga, or is she going to freak again at Santa Anita?
Another great storyline, a local trainer, Chad Brown, has a fantastic mare in Awesome Feather. She's 10 for 10, looking to make it 11 for 11 with the second Breeders' Cup victory of her career.
It's almost too much to deal with, to handle, to analyze. She's only 10 for 10. My Miss Aurelia is only 6 for 6. They're champions in their own right. And it would be no surprise. That's all you can say. Where will she be in history if she does this?
The only thing you can maybe put as a knock on Awesome Feather is, since winning the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies in 2010, she hasn't run much. She ran 2 races in 2011. She's run twice in 2012. This a substantial step up.
Well, there's no question about that. The waters don't get any deeper than the Ladies' Classic. Some people even thought that maybe this Classic and the other Classic should finish the card as they rotate the races around.
And as if that wasn't enough for you, Mike, number 6, Royal Delta, the 9-5 favorite. She won this race last year, very capable of doing it again.
If she's herself, if she's on her game, she stumbles occasionally, but if the real one shows up, she's the older filly here, and they have got her to beat. She is absolutely wonderful when she's on.
She's coming in off a great work at Belmont Park on October 22nd. The thing I noticed in the past performances a little bit, I think the figure makers are discounting the Beldame a little bit here. The figure that I've got here is a 104 from the Equibase past performances here. The 3 before that, 117, 116, 111, and all Royal Delta did in the Beldame, a Grade 1 race, was beat It's Tricky by 9.5 lengths in 148 4/5 for a mile and an eighth. I think they're underestimating that race.
I can't argue that, and the one that you mentioned that she beat, it happens to be a double Grade 1 winner, that's all.
So, Mike, the big question, and one that I'm sure not a lot of people want to answer about this race because there are so many different ways you can go. Who do you have in the Ladies' Class?
I'm going to really surprise you here and say that I'm actually not going to bet the race. I'm going to watch this for the pure pleasure of great fillies getting together. If you force me to make a bet, I think I would go with Royal Delta. I think she's got tons of quality. That doesn't mean that, any of the others would be shocking. Don't forget Love and Pride. She's a Grade 1 winner on the track, being out there. But I think Royal Delta is set to retain her crown.
The Breeders' Cup, programmed to be the championship day for horse racing, and plenty of prospective champions going postward in the Breeders' Cup Ladies Classic. Post time for that one is 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Friday evening. That'll wrap things up for the first Breeders' Cup edition of the Pink Sheet Insider. For Mike Veach, I'm Andrew Champagne. If you look around on the website, chances are you'll find the second Breeders' Cup Pink Sheet Insider right here on Saratogian.com.